Have you ever stood up from a chair and thought, that was a little harder than it used to be? Maybe you've noticed your arms aren't as strong, or you feel a bit wobbly on the stairs, like your legs just don't have the same strength they once did. It's not your imagination. And no, it's not something you have to just accept with age. What if I told you that one small change, something you can actually eat, could help stop that slow, silent loss of strength? Yes, really. Not a supplement, not a fancy machine, not hours in a gym, just something simple, natural, and likely already in your kitchen, or at least easy to find. Now I know that might sound a little surprising. After all, when we think of building or keeping muscle, our minds jump straight to lifting weights or doing push-ups. And sure, exercise matters. But there's another side to the story that most people overlook, especially as we get older, and that's nutrition. Not just eating well, but eating smart with purpose. Fueling your body in a way that protects your muscles, keeps you mobile, and lets you keep doing the things you love, whether that's gardening, walking with friends, or picking up your grandkids. You see, after around age 60, our bodies naturally start to lose muscle. It's something called sarcopenia. And no, it's not a disease, and you're not broken. It's just a natural part of aging. But here's the thing. It doesn't have to control you. You can fight back, and it starts with what's on your plate. So today, let's talk. Just you and me. I want to share with you a few real practical things you can start doing right now to protect your muscles. And we'll start with what you eat. Because when you get the right nutrients in your body at the right time, it's like giving your muscles a little shield, a layer of protection, a source of energy, a way to say, nope, I'm not fading away. I'm staying strong. Let me ask you, how do you usually start your day? A slice of toast? Maybe a cup of tea and a little fruit? Or maybe just coffee and nothing else until lunch? It's okay. You're not alone. But here's something that might surprise you. Your body is starving for protein in the morning, and most of us just aren't giving it enough. You see, protein is one of the key ingredients your body uses to build and maintain muscle. And when we don't get enough of it, especially first thing in the day, our muscles begin to weaken, little by little. Not overnight, but slowly. So slowly, we don't even notice until one day we do. Now, I'm not talking about eating a steak for breakfast. But imagine this, starting your morning with something as simple as Greek yogurt with a handful of nuts, or a couple of eggs, maybe scrambled with some spinach. Even a smoothie with some plain protein powder, half a banana, and a spoonful of peanut butter. You don't need a lot. You just need enough. And you need it early in the day to stop that muscle breakdown from starting. And don't worry, this isn't about dieting or becoming a bodybuilder. This is about giving your body what it needs to keep you steady on your feet, to make getting out of a chair easy, to let you bend down and tie your shoe without worrying if you'll get back up. But there's one food, one simple, humble food, that I want to shine a light on today. It's not fancy, it's not expensive, and it's been studied for years. For its incredible effects on muscle maintenance in older adults. It's the egg. Now I know what you're thinking. Eggs? Really? And yes, really. Because eggs are kind of like nature's perfect little package. They've got protein, yes, but also essential amino acids, the building blocks of muscle, the kind your body can actually use efficiently. And that matters. Let me tell you something that might make you smile. There was a study done with older adults who were given just 2 eggs a day with breakfast. That's it, 2 eggs. And after just a few weeks, those individuals showed noticeable improvements in muscle strength and energy. They didn't change their exercise routines. They didn't take extra pills, just eggs. And you know why it works? Because when you give your body high-quality protein in the morning, it gets the signal to preserve muscle, to keep what you've got. And that's the first step. Not building, just not losing. And from there, the progress begins. Now you might be wondering, what if I have high cholesterol? That's a good question, and I hear it a lot. But here's something doctors and dietitians now understand better. For most people, Eating eggs, especially whole eggs, doesn't significantly raise your blood cholesterol. In fact, eggs also contain choline and other nutrients that support brain health. So you're getting more than just protein. You're giving your whole body a boost. And here's a little secret. If you pair eggs with something rich and healthy, fats like avocado or fiber, like whole grain toast or sautéed veggies, you create a breakfast that keeps you full, fuels your muscles, and even supports your heart. It's simple, it's quick, and it's powerful. So if you've been starting your day with just coffee and a slice of toast, maybe tomorrow you'll try this instead. 2 scrambled eggs with a sprinkle of cheese, some cherry tomatoes on the side, and a slice of whole grain bread. Or boil a few eggs ahead of time and keep them in the fridge for quick mornings. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to start. And remember this, building strength at any age starts with consistency. You don't have to feel strong right away. You don't need to see results in a week. You just need to feed your body what it needs, one meal at a time. That's how we build resilience. That's how we take control. But let's keep going, because eggs aren't the only food that deserves a spot on your plate. There's something else I want to share with you. Something plant-based, rich in nutrients, and surprisingly effective in helping older adults maintain muscle, even if they're not very active. It's beans. Yes, humble, affordable beans, whether black beans, lentils, chickpeas, or navy beans, are an amazing source of plant-based protein. They're full of fiber, which helps your digestion. They're loaded with iron and magnesium, which support muscle function, and best of all, they're incredibly versatile. Let me tell you a quick story. A lovely woman named Rosa, 72 years old, came to one of my wellness workshops last year. She told me she had trouble getting up from the floor and often felt weak when cooking dinner. She wasn't very active, but she wanted to feel stronger. I suggested she start adding a half cup of lentils or beans to her meals each day, maybe some lentil soup with lunch or a spoonful of black beans in her salad. 6 weeks later, Rosa came back beaming. "I can get up from the floor now," she said, "without holding on to the table." And she hadn't started working out or doing anything drastic. Just food, real simple food, supporting her body. That's the power of nutrition. That's what food can do when we stop thinking of it as just fuel and start seeing it as a tool, a partner in healthy aging. So whether it's eggs in the morning or beans in your lunch or dinner, your muscles are listening. They respond. Even now. Even at 65. Or 75. Or 85. Because the truth is, our bodies want to stay strong. They just need the right building blocks, and they need them consistently. And yes, taste matters too. So if plain beans don't excite you, mix them into a stew with onions and garlic. Make a creamy chickpea dip. Or try this easy tip. Mash some cooked black beans with avocado and a pinch of sea salt. Spread it on toast for a delicious, protein-rich snack. Your muscles will thank you. You're not powerless here. In fact, you've got more control than you think. Every bite you take is a vote for your strength, for your independence, for your freedom to live life on your terms. And now that we've talked about how eggs and beans can be your muscle allies, let's keep this momentum going. Because there's another delicious natural food, often overlooked, that's been shown to help older adults not just maintain strength, but also improve balance and mobility. And that food I mentioned, the one that helps with strength, balance, and even joint comfort, it's salmon. Now don't worry, this isn't one of those fancy foods you need a chef to prepare, and no, you don't have to eat it every day. But salmon, and other fatty fish like sardines and mackerel, are packed with something incredibly powerful for your muscles: omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA. Now, I know omega-3 gets thrown around a lot these days like some trendy buzzword. But for seniors, this isn't just marketing fluff. These healthy fats actually reduce inflammation in the body. And when your joints and muscles aren't inflamed, they can move more easily. They're more flexible. They hurt less. But here's the part that makes salmon really special. Omega-3s actually help preserve and even build muscle tissue, especially when paired with protein and light movement. That means even if you're not going to the gym or lifting weights, just a few walks a week, combined with the right food, can help your muscles stay firm and supportive. You know what's amazing? Studies show that older adults who consume fish regularly tend to have better grip strength. Yes, grip strength, the kind that helps you open jars and carry bags, and faster walking speed. Not because they're working out all the time, but because their bodies are getting what they need to function well. And don't worry if salmon feels like a stretch. You don't need a fancy fillet. Even canned salmon works just fine. You can mash it up with a little Greek yogurt, add some lemon juice, maybe a sprinkle of dill, and spread it on a slice of toast. That's a muscle-nourishing snack right there. Or mix it into a salad for lunch. Quick, easy, and incredibly effective. If you're not a fan of fish at all, that's okay too. You can look into omega-3 supplements made from algae, which are plant-based and gentler on the stomach. But if you can get it from Whole Foods, even better? Because then you also get vitamin D, B12, and selenium, nutrients that support your muscles, your brain, and your bones, all in one go. Let me pause here for a moment, though, because I know what some of you might be thinking. That's great, but I've already lost a lot of muscle. Is it too late for me? I want you to hear me clearly. It is never too late. Your body is always listening. It's always ready to respond to the care you give it. Even if you've lost strength, even if you've been sedentary, you can start now. And the results over time can be profound. Let me tell you about Joseph. Joseph is 78 years old. Retired, widowed, lives alone. A few years ago, he slipped while getting into the shower and fractured his hip. Recovery was slow, and after months of resting, he noticed how much weaker he felt. He told me he was afraid to walk to the store alone. "I just don't trust my legs anymore," he said. But we didn't give up. Joseph started by adding more protein to his meals. Eggs in the morning, a scoop of beans with lunch, and salmon twice a week. We also encouraged him to stand up and sit down from his chair 10 times a day. Nothing fancy. Just getting his body used to moving again. 3 months later, Joseph sent me an email. He said, "I walked around the block by myself for the first time since the fall. I even carried a bag of groceries. That's not just muscle recovery. That's confidence. That's life coming back into focus. And that's the kind of power food can have when you use it wisely." Now, while we're talking about food that helps build muscle, I have to mention one more that almost nobody thinks about when it comes to strength. It's not meat, it's not fish, it's not even beans, it's seeds. Yes, those tiny little things that often go unnoticed on top of your bread or scattered in your trail mix. But don't let their size fool you. Seeds like pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, and flax seeds are like little powerhouses packed with protein, magnesium, zinc, and healthy fats, all of which support muscle function. Let's take pumpkin seeds. For example, just a small handful gives you magnesium, which helps your muscles contract and relax. They also provide zinc, which is essential for repair and recovery. And guess what? They're rich in antioxidants too, meaning they help reduce muscle damage from everyday wear and tear. A woman I know, her name's May, she's 69, told me she started adding 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed to her morning oatmeal. That's it. Just a sprinkle. But after a couple of months, she said she felt more stable when walking. "Like my legs were less shaky," she described it. Could it be the seeds alone? Probably not, but they played a role. And in this stage of life, every small habit counts. Here's a fun idea. Make your own muscle blend. Mix chia seeds, ground flax, and pumpkin seeds in a jar. Add a spoonful to yogurt, sprinkle it on a salad, or stir it into a smoothie. You don't need to overhaul your meals, you just need to enhance them. Little tweaks with big payoffs. Now, while we're here, let me ask you something. When was the last time you really enjoyed a meal knowing it was also helping your body? not just filling you up, but supporting you, keeping you strong, flexible, capable. That's the kind of relationship we want to build with food as we age. Not fear, not confusion, just trust and nourishment. And sometimes it's the simplest meals that make the biggest difference. So now, let's put it all together, just for a moment. Picture this. You start your morning with a warm bowl of oatmeal, sprinkled with ground flaxseed, a few chopped walnuts, and maybe a dash of cinnamon. You enjoy it slowly, with a mug of tea and the morning light coming in through the window. A few hours later, it's lunchtime. You open a can of salmon, mix it with a little mustard and lemon, and pile it on whole grain crackers with some sliced cucumbers. It's tasty, it's fresh, and your muscles are soaking up the protein and omega-3s with every bite. Dinner rolls around, and maybe it's a lentil soup, simmered with garlic and onions. You add a slice of whole grain toast and top it with mashed avocado and a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds. See how doable that is? Nothing exotic, nothing expensive, just real food, in real portions, with real results. Because at the end of the day, muscle loss doesn't announce itself loudly. It sneaks in quietly. One day, you're walking briskly to the store, and a few months later, you're avoiding steps. But if we act now, if we feed our strength, nourish it daily, we can stop that slow decline and start building back. You deserve to feel steady when you walk. You deserve to feel strong when you carry groceries or reach for something on a high shelf. And yes, you absolutely deserve to feel confident in your own body, no matter your age. You're not fragile. You're not broken. You're adaptable. Your body is always adapting, whether it's to poor habits or strong ones. So let's help it adapt in the right direction. And remember, this is about progress, not perfection. No one's expecting you to eat perfectly every day or suddenly love salmon if you never did before. But if you try one small change this week and another next week, you'll begin to notice the shift. A little more strength, a little more energy, a little more you coming back to life. Because this isn't just about food. It's about freedom. It's about not needing help to get out of a chair. About taking walks on your own terms. About playing with your grandkids or dancing in your kitchen. That's the kind of life we're protecting here. So don't wait for things to get worse to start making them better. You've got the knowledge. You've got the tools. And now, it's time to use them. You know, one of the most common things I hear from older folks, especially those in their 70s and beyond, is this quiet worry they don't always say out loud. I don't want to be a burden. They say it when they notice they're getting winded more easily, when the stairs feel steeper than they used to, when a jar lid just won't budge no matter how hard they try. But what if I told you, you're not powerless against those things? Because one of the most overlooked tools you have, one that's available to you every single day, is movement. Not exercise in the way you might be thinking. I'm not talking about joining a gym or sweating it out in spandex. I'm talking about small, gentle, consistent movement that keeps your muscles alive. Let me tell you a secret. Your body doesn't care how intense your movement is. It only cares that it's regular. The human body, especially as it ages, responds beautifully to consistency. A little each day goes further than a lot once a week. You've probably heard the phrase, use it or lose it, right? It's true. The more you sit, the more your muscles adapt to sitting. But the more you move, even just a little, the more your muscles remember how to support you. And when that happens, everything else becomes easier. Walking, climbing stairs, getting up from a low chair. Let me share something simple that works wonders. Sit to stands. If there's one movement I recommend to almost everyone over 60, it's this one. You just sit in a sturdy chair, feet flat on the ground, and you stand up without using your hands if you can. Then you slowly sit back down. Do it 5 times, maybe 10. That's it. No equipment, no trainer, just you and a chair. Why is this movement so powerful? Because it mimics something you do every single day. Getting up from the couch, from the toilet, from the dinner table. And every time you do it, your legs, your glutes, your core, they all activate. They all say, "We're still here. We're still working." I worked with a gentleman named Samuel. He's 81. He'd been using a walker and said his legs felt hollow, like they'd forgotten how to be strong. I had him do 5 sit-to-stands every day just before breakfast. After 2 weeks, he said his knees felt less shaky. After 6 weeks, he said he was reaching for the walker less often. That's the kind of shift that brings back dignity, independence, and it's not just about legs. Your upper body matters too. Grip strength, shoulder mobility, even posture, all play a role in your muscle health. If your shoulders are rounded and your head is leaning forward, your back muscles weaken. Your chest tightens. You might start feeling stiff, or even shorter, but we can fix that with just a few minutes a day. Try this. Stand with your back against a wall. Make sure your heels, your butt, your upper back, and the back of your head are touching the wall. Tuck your chin slightly. Now, raise your arms like a goalpost, elbows bent at 90 degrees, and slide them up and down along the wall, like you're doing a slow-motion jumping jack. If it feels hard, that's okay. That's your muscles waking up again. It's called a wall angel, and it's a great way to remind your shoulders and upper back how to stay strong and upright. You can do it during TV commercials or while waiting for your tea to steep. Small moments, big impact, and please don't let perfectionism get in your way. If you can't do 10 sit-to-stands, do 3. If your arms don't reach the wall, just raise them as high as you can. Progress, not perfection. Effort, not ego. That's what matters. You see, movement isn't about getting ripped or running marathons. It's about maintaining the muscles that carry your life. The ones that help you hug your grandchildren, roll over in bed, or put on your socks without wobbling. Those muscles deserve your attention. And here's something most people forget. Your heart is a muscle too. And walking, that's one of the best things you can do for it. Just a few laps around your home, down the hallway, around the garden, and if you can, take those walks after meals. It helps with digestion, blood sugar, and yes, muscle preservation. Now, while we're on the topic of movement, let's talk about something that often gets ignored: hydration. I know, it doesn't sound very exciting, but staying hydrated is one of the easiest, most overlooked ways to protect your muscles. When you're dehydrated, your muscles cramp more easily. They feel fatigued. They recover slower after activity. And you know what else? Dehydration affects your balance. That's right. When your body is low on fluids, it affects your brain's ability to sense where you are in space. That's part of why seniors who don't drink enough are at higher risk for falls. But here's the challenge. As we age, our sense of thirst gets weaker. You might not feel thirsty even when your body needs water. That's why you have to drink before you're thirsty. Be proactive. Keep a glass nearby. Sip throughout the day. And no, it doesn't have to be plain water. Herbal tea counts, broths count, even water-rich fruits like watermelon or cucumber help. The key is consistency. There's a woman I know, Clara, age 74, who keeps a little jar of colored stones by the sink. 5 of them. Every time she finishes a glass of water, she moves one stone to the other side of the jar. By the end of the day, she knows if she's hit her goal: simple, playful, effective. And there's one last element I want to talk about today, something that brings everything else together, and that is rest. Not just sleep, but quality rest. See, muscle repair doesn't happen while you're moving. It happens after, when you're still, when you're sleeping, when you're resting quietly and letting your body restore itself. That's why sleep isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. Poor sleep increases inflammation. It reduces your body's ability to make and maintain muscle. It throws off hormones that regulate hunger, energy, and healing. If you've been waking up tired, tossing and turning, or struggling to stay asleep, you're not alone. Sleep changes with age, but it can be improved. Start by setting a gentle bedtime routine. Dim the lights an hour before sleep. Avoid screens if you can. Sip a calming tea, like chamomile or lemon balm, and consider magnesium-rich foods in the evening, like bananas, almonds, or whole grains. They help relax the muscles and quiet the mind. And here's a tip that works wonders. Keep a notebook by your bed. Before sleep, write down anything that's on your mind. Worries, to-dos, thoughts you don't want to forget. Get them out of your head and onto paper. You'd be amazed at how much more peacefully you sleep when your mind is clear. You see, this isn't just about eating more protein or doing a few exercises. It's about creating a rhythm, a daily flow that honors your body's needs. Movement, nourishment, hydration, rest. Like the legs of a table, they all work together to support you. And when one is missing, the whole thing gets wobbly. But when all four are there, you stand tall, you feel steady, you move through life with ease. And let's be honest, this isn't just about preventing muscle loss. It's about preserving your freedom, your autonomy, your joy. It's about waking up in the morning and knowing that your body is there for you, not holding you back. You're not just surviving, you're choosing to thrive. And every day that you move, nourish, and rest with intention, you send a message to your body. I still care, I'm still here, I'm still strong, because strength isn't about age, it's about action. And you, my friend, are taking action. One step, one sip, one stretch at a time. So keep going, keep choosing yourself. Your muscles are listening. One of the most powerful things I've learned working with seniors is this. The body never forgets how to heal. It might take longer, it might need a little more help. But if you give it the right ingredients, at the right time, it will respond. It wants to keep you going. And you know what plays a surprising role in that process? Your mindset. I'm not saying you can just think your muscles into being strong, but I am saying this. The way you talk to yourself every day matters a lot. If you wake up thinking, I'm too old to change, or my body's falling apart, your choices will follow that belief. You'll move less, you'll care less, you'll stop trying. But if you say to yourself, I'm learning to support my body, or I'm still in charge of my health, then something beautiful happens. Your actions change. You drink that glass of water, you take that short walk, you cook yourself a better breakfast, and over time, those small acts turn into strength, into progress. So don't underestimate the power of your inner voice. Your muscles respond to your mind more than you think. Even just 5 minutes a day of calm, intentional breathing can reduce cortisol, the stress hormone that breaks down muscle. That's right, stress can literally shrink your muscle mass. But when you quiet your mind, your whole body begins to feel safer, stronger, steadier. Try this with me now. Just pause for a moment. Take a deep breath in. Hold it. Now, slowly breathe. Out. Do it again. In through your nose. Out through your mouth. Feel your shoulders soften. Feel your chest open. That's the beginning of healing, right there. You're not just nourishing your muscles with food or movement, you're nourishing them with attention, with care. Now, let's talk about something practical, something you can hold in your hands, literally. Because one of the most empowering tools for protecting your muscle health is right there in your kitchen, your fork. Yes, we've touched on food before, but now I want to go deeper. Because the truth is, it's not just what you eat. It's when and how often you eat it that affects your muscle strength. Here's something most people don't realize. After 60, your body becomes less efficient at using the protein you eat. That means if you eat the same amount of protein as you did in your 30s or 40s, your body won't build as much muscle from it. It needs more. Not a ridiculous amount, but more than you probably think. And here's the kicker. Your body uses protein best when you spread it evenly throughout the day. So if you eat a tiny breakfast, a decent lunch, and a big dinner, that's actually not ideal. Your muscles get the message too late in the day. What you want is to start your day with protein. Wake your muscles up. Feed them early. Give them what they need to stay active. Let me paint a picture. Imagine two women, both 70 years old, same weight, same lifestyle. One eats a small breakfast, maybe toast and jam. Lunch is a sandwich. Dinner is her main meal, lots of meat and veggies. The other woman eats a protein-rich breakfast, like eggs or Greek yogurt with nuts. Lunch includes chicken or tofu. Dinner is balanced, but not overly heavy. After a few months, guess what? The second woman maintains more muscle. She feels steadier. Her recovery from activity is faster. Why? Because her muscles had what they needed throughout the day, not just at the end of it. So if you're serious about preventing muscle loss, here's what I suggest. Aim to get protein with every meal, even breakfast. You don't have to overhaul your diet. You can start small. Scrambled eggs on toast. A dollop of peanut butter in your oatmeal. Cottage cheese with fruit. Or even a warm mug of bone broth in the morning. It's soothing and rich in collagen, which supports both muscles and joints. And don't forget your snacks. A handful of almonds, a boiled egg, a slice of cheese. These are not just snacks. They're little signals to your body that say, stay strong. Now, I know what some people are thinking. But what about plant-based protein? Absolutely. Plant-based proteins can be just as effective, especially when you mix and match them. Lentils and rice, quinoa and beans, even a slice of whole. Grain toast with avocado has a decent protein kick when eaten mindfully. The key isn't perfection, it's consistency, daily effort. And while we're talking about foods, let me circle back to that shocking reveal we teased from the beginning. Because while there's no single magic bullet, there is a group of foods that science increasingly shows can dramatically support muscle strength in seniors. They're called leucine-rich foods. Leucine is one of the most important amino acids for muscle synthesis. Think of it like a go signal for muscle building. Without enough leucine, your body won't activate the muscle-building process effectively, even if you're eating protein. So where can you get leucine? Foods like whey protein, eggs, chicken, beef, salmon, soybeans, and even some nuts and seeds are rich in it. But one of the best natural sources? Pumpkin seeds. Yes, those little green seeds you may have ignored or tossed aside after Halloween, they're a secret muscle ally. Just a quarter cup of pumpkin seeds contains about 7 grams of protein and a powerful dose of leucine. Plus, they're rich in magnesium, an essential mineral for muscle function and relaxation. So here's a little tip. Keep a jar of roasted pumpkin seeds on your kitchen counter. Sprinkle them on salads, add them to yogurt, or just munch on them as an afternoon pick-me-up. Your muscles will thank you. And here's something even more surprising. Researchers have found that combining leucine-rich foods with light resistance, exercise, like the sit-to-stands we talked about earlier, can actually double the benefits for older adults. That means if you eat a protein-rich breakfast and then take a walk or do a few light-strength moves afterward, your body absorbs and uses that protein more efficiently. It's like giving your muscles a double high five. And you know what? That's exactly what your muscles need after 60. Not intense, punishing workouts, not fad diets, just steady, loving support through food and gentle motion. Let me share a quick story. A woman named Helen, 78 years young, started adding pumpkin seeds and eggs to her breakfast, walking after lunch, and doing gentle stretches before bed. She called it her muscle medicine routine. After 3 months, she reported that her legs felt more alive. Her back didn't ache as much. She even started standing longer while cooking, something she hadn't done comfortably in years. And here's what's beautiful. Her blood pressure improved. Her digestion got better. Her mood lifted. All from simple changes. Nothing extreme, just smart, consistent choices. This is what I want for you. Not a diet, not a boot camp, just a deeper relationship with your own body. A relationship where you listen, respond, and care. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about looking younger. It's about feeling capable, feeling free, knowing that your body is on your side. So take this moment to reflect. What small change can you make this week? Can you add a source of protein to your breakfast? Can you try 5 minutes of movement? After lunch? Can you fill a water bottle and keep it with you? Choose one thing, one act of care. Because the truth is, muscle loss doesn't have to be your story. Not if you choose to act, not if you stay curious, not if you believe that it's never too late to get stronger. And here's the part I love most. You're not doing this alone. Every time you take a step, every time you lift your body up from that chair, every time you nourish yourself, you're joining a quiet, powerful community of seniors around the world who are saying yes to strength, yes to independence, yes to life. So take that deep breath again, in through your nose, out through your mouth. And remember, your body isn't broken. It's just waiting for you to say, I'm ready to rebuild, and you are. I can feel it. There's a quiet kind of strength that comes with age. It's not loud. It doesn't boast. It's the strength you see in someone who's lived through loss and kept going. The strength of someone who's carried others when they were tired. The strength of someone who's learned how to bend with the wind but never break. You have that strength. Maybe you don't always feel it, but it's there. And every time you choose to care for your body, even in the smallest way, you are honoring that strength. Now, we've talked a lot in this video about food, movement, mindset, and daily habits, but I want to end by talking about something even deeper, something that quietly supports everything else, and that is your why. Because let's be honest, some days are hard, some mornings your knees ache, some afternoons the couch is more inviting than the sidewalk, and some nights, you wonder if any of it really matters. If taking care of yourself day after day is worth the effort. That's when your why becomes your anchor. Maybe your why is wanting to play with your grandchildren without needing to sit down every 5 minutes. Maybe it's walking on the beach, again with your partner. Maybe it's standing in your garden, pulling up weeds, or dancing in your kitchen to music from your youth. Maybe it's simply feeling good in your own skin, knowing you've still got life left to live, and you want to live it on your terms. Whatever your why is, hold it close. Write it down if you have to. Tape it to your fridge. Whisper it to yourself when your legs feel heavy. Let it guide you when the temptation to give up creeps in, because your why isn't just a reason, it's a promise. A promise that this chapter of your life is still unfolding, and you deserve to be strong enough to enjoy every page. Now, before we close, I want to gently bring together the key truths we've explored, but not as a checklist, more like reminders. Reminders of the small, doable, life-affirming actions that support your muscles, your energy, and your independence. Remember the power of daily movement. You don't need a gym. Your body is the gym. When you get up from your chair, that's strength. When you lift your arms to reach the cupboard, that's strength. When you take a walk, climb stairs, or stretch before bed, your muscles are listening, and they're responding. Even just 15 minutes of light resistance exercises 2 to 3 times a week can make a meaningful difference. And you can start slow. 1 sit to stand, then 2, then 3. If your balance feels unsteady, use the counter. Use a wall. Use a friend. Just don't use the excuse that it's too late. It's not. And remember the importance of protein. Feed your muscles. Give them the building blocks they crave. Start your day with protein. Aim for consistency, not perfection. Whether it's a scoop of Greek yogurt, a hard-boiled egg, a handful of nuts, or a warm bowl of lentils, every bite counts. And those humble pumpkin seeds, keep them close. They're tiny but mighty. A little daily sprinkle could mean a lot for your strength down the line. Hydration matters too. Muscles need water to function, to repair, to grow. Keep a glass nearby. Sip throughout the day. If plain water feels dull, add lemon, add cucumber, add mint. Make it yours. And please don't forget rest. Your muscles don't grow while you're moving. They grow while you're recovering. Sleep isn't laziness. It's healing. If you have trouble sleeping, take small steps. Turn off screens earlier. Dim the lights. Let your mind unwind. Your body will thank you in the morning. And perhaps most important of all, be kind to yourself. I can't say this enough. Aging is not a decline. It's a shift, a new rhythm. Your body has carried you for decades. It's weathered storms. It's given birth. It's held people. It's danced, fallen, and stood back up. It deserves your respect. So when the scale doesn't move, or your pants still feel snug, or your arms don't look like they used to, don't punish your body with harsh thoughts. Thank it. And then keep going. Healing is not a straight line. Strength isn't built in a day. And muscle? It's not just about how much you have. It's about how connected you are to it, how much you listen, how much you nourish it, how much you use it with love. I want to leave you with this. Every time you choose to take care of yourself, no matter how small the action seems, you are saying yes to life. And the more you say yes, the more life will meet you with energy, vitality, and strength. You are not too old. You are not too far gone. You are not fragile. You are in a body that is still capable of renewal. Your muscles are not gone. They're just waiting for you to wake them up, to speak kindly to them, to feed them well, to move them with joy, to believe in them again. So I ask you now, gently and directly, what will you do with this moment? Will you stretch your arms up? Will you take a breath? Will you fill your plate with something healing? Will you call a friend and walk together? Will you try? Because here's what I know. Your body is listening. And the more you love it, the more it will love you back. So let's make this a beginning, not an end. Let's turn the page and keep writing this chapter with courage, with clarity, and with care. And if you found this video helpful, if something we talked about today stirred something in you, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me what your why is, or what small change you're making this week. And if you want more videos like this, real talk about aging well, staying strong, and living fully, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're building a community here, a community of older adults who believe that their best years aren't behind them. They're being built right now. So here's to you, to your strength, to your breath, to your bones, to your future. Here's to living your best life at any age.